Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to talk a little bit about today is your driving. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what if you started playing golf now, what would you do to get to the results you want quicker? I'm going to show you where I think there are some failings that are making it hard to progress as you'd like, but what I would do now if I was starting the game from what I've learned over the last 40 years of playing golf, what I would do and encourage you guys to do to make you better when you're teeing off, when you're hitting your driver off the tee. And the first thing is, when you first start playing golf, the likelihood is you're going to go down the driving range and you're going to go out and hit as many balls as you can to improve. And that seems a really good idea. But the problem with that is you're in an area that's so unrealistic to what you're going to get when you go on a golf course. So we're going to show you today what I want you to do and how, if you do have only that practice facility, i.e. the driving range, to do it, how you've got to use it in a better way. So I've brought us out here onto the 5th hole at Corinthians Golf Club, and it's the tightest tee shot on the golf course. And this is the biggest thing I would say to you. What happens when you go to the driving range, if I think back where I worked, we had around about 24 bays on the bottom level, and the range width then was around about 90 to 100 yards in width. And it's very easy when you're setting up just to hit a ball, you think you've connected okay, it's gone reasonably a good distance, generally in the right direction where you want to go, but actually on the golf course that probably wouldn't have been in play. So how far or how wide on average are fairways, and what do you need to work to? Well, the average width of a fairway here at Corinthians Golf Club is 30 yards. And then we have probably either side of that about 7-8 yards of light rough, and then we're into trees. So we have an initial target of 30 yards, and then you're into probably a 45-yard area that if you still stay within that area, you'll be okay. But if you go any wider than that, you're going to be in trouble. Now, amazingly, we've come out here, and this is, as I said, that's the average width, 30 yards. This, as you can see down the video, you can see the path on the right-hand side, and we take it to the tree trunk from the right edge of the path as we look at it to the tree trunk on the trees on the left is around about 26 yards. But that's not truthfully the width of this hole, because that's pretty true on that side, because that's where the edge of the trees come down. On this side, the branches are coming out probably a good another 5 yards. So this tee shot is only approximately 20 yards in width. And I've got to hit it at least 170 yards to get out of these trees into the fairway to give myself a chance. So this is what I would do. This would be the perfect tee shot to practice, because if you can stand on this tee shot and hit it 170 to 200 or even further, dead straight through that 20-yard alleyway, you're never going to find any tee box a problem. Anywhere you play in the world, you're very rarely going to have a tighter tee shot than 20 yards that you've got to get it through. If you do, okay, go and practice that one more. So one of my early videos, I talked about create the small target, and it will make then the result you want much bigger where you want to go to. So what I would do, if you're just starting, don't need to go straight on with the driver. Let's get rid of him. Take something like a little hybrid, and you can develop this skill even with your irons. If you think about it, a fairway coming up to the green is slightly smaller than the fairway. So if you start to think about this 20-yard zone that we're calling it, that's quite important to understand, that you can then look at it and think, if I can keep that ball within 20 yards, you're good. And this is what you've got to start to develop when you go to the practice ground, when you go to the driving range, or if you've got the opportunity, you've got some top tracer facilities, use the accuracy ones to work on that and see if you can combine that, because that's the key thing. Golf is about two things. Can I hit the ball the right direction, and then can I hit it the right distance? This is all about getting accuracy off the tee. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with my hybrid. Okay? And think, right, it's a shorter club, should be a little bit easier to control. So can I get the result that I want with this club? Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So we're looking down here. Now I'm going to pick something out smack in the middle. Okay, so I'm looking down there. I can see the ladies' tee box, but just over, there's sort of a ladies' marker with the yardage. Then there's two red markers. I'm going to go at the left-hand red marker. That looks like smack in the middle of the fairway. So I want to be that precise. But remember, what I'm doing, the main reason we're making the target really tough to say, look, how good can I hit this? If I can get it down that alleyway, perfect. So this is what I would do. If I started golf now, make the target as tough as possible, tight as I can, Learn to do it. There and through. Okay, now, where have I actually hit that ball? Well, the good news is I'm down the fairway, which was the goal. Have I hit it exactly over my marker? No, I've missed that by 3 or 4 yards. But remember, I've got 10 yards either side of that to go down this fairway. I've missed it by 3 or 4 yards. Perfect. If I do that, if that's my shot down a fairway, I'm going to hit every fairway. If I'm looking to play maybe this club even into the green, pretty good chance I'm going to be on that green. So by making that practice tougher, it then makes the game a lot easier. And this is where you've got to use your imagination on the practice ground. Now, what you would do is develop that skill, and you might think, yeah, I can do that now. Let's do another one with the hybrid. Same routine. That worked well. And this is really important. Because it worked, do it again. Don't fall into the trap that golfers do. They seem to change their mind from shot to shot. Do it again. So I'm coming back, looking down my line. My small target is the red marker. I'm lining up to that. And then can I hit it down that line? That's the goal. Through again. That one's gone right over the top of it. Good. And what I'm training myself to do is realize fairways aren't that tight. But if that's what I learned from the very beginning, that's what your brain will think is automatic. If you think fairways are 90 yards or 100 yards wide, when you turn up to this, you're going to be petrified. You're going to look at it and go, how on earth am I going to hit that down the fairway? You won't. You'll be so nervous you won't let your swing work what you've been practicing on the practice ground. But remember, you've been practicing on a 90-yard fairway. We're practicing on a 20-yard. Now, got it going with that. So now we can have a go with the driver. Okay? And I'm not going to change the thought process at all. I'm going to go through exactly the same idea. There's my red marker. It worked brilliantly with the hybrid. So why would I change it? I wouldn't. And that's the important thing. Don't change that process. If it works for one thing, do it with the next. So there's my red marker. That's where I'm going. I've now got the confidence with the hybrid. I've practiced this. Can I practice it now with the driver and get the same result direction-wise? And again, like the first hybrid, it's a little bit left, but I'm inside the trees and the ball has gone nicely down the hole. So we've achieved what we want to do. And again, as I said earlier, if you're training yourself that this is what you expect when you walk onto a golf course, it'll be so much easier. Okay, I got a little bit lucky, if I'm honest. Most of my early golf was on the golf course, not on the driving range. Most of you guys just starting are probably going to spend time on the practice ground, as in the driving range, because it's easier. It's easy to 100 balls in an hour rather than go and give up 2, 3, 4 hours to go and play a few holes. But you need to be experiencing this. So make that target small on the practice ground. Use any of the facilities that give you targets to aim for. See how good you are. Let's see if we can get 4 out of 4 down the fairway. So again, red marker. Same setup, not changing a thing. We've got 2 down the left side, 1 smack down the middle with my 3 other clubs. Trust it. Good. Middle to left again. But the great thing is, all 4 of those tee shots would have been in play. It's given me a chance. But again, by making that practice tougher, by learning the tee shot that way, firstly with the hybrid, now with the driver, I know I stand on a fairway, it's really wide, I know I can hit it down the middle of that fairway. It makes it so much easier. So make your practice tough. That's the thing I would have done. If I'm now starting, make it tougher, so when you go to the golf course, it becomes a lot easier. I hope you've enjoyed that video. It's about improving that driving off the tee. Give yourself that smaller target so you now know that's where you've got to hit it, and you'll start hitting a lot more fairways and getting a lot more consistency on the golf course. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, press that little bell for notifications, and I look forward to seeing you soon.